the Third Reich. Some describe the regime as socialist, and others describe it as capitalist. But do these claims hold any water? Adolf Hitler was a very complex man. In many aspects, he criticized both socialism and capitalism, while taking the ideas of both and making a new idea out of it. In the case for him being capitalist, we can look at his privatization of the banks in Nazi Germany, and his privatization of firms like IG Farben and other key industries. According to ub.edu, quote, "It is a fact that the government of the Nazi Party sold off public ownership in several state-owned firms mid-1930s. These firms belonged to a wide range of sectors: steel, mining, banking, local public utilities, shipyards, ship lines, railways, etc. In addition, the delivery of some public services that were produced by the government prior to the 1930s, especially social and labor-related services, was transferred to the private sector, mainly to organizations within the party. State firms had been transferred from the public sector to the private sector. Now, you could argue this was capitalist leaning. You would be correct in that notion, but wrong on the other hand. Capitalism is an umbrella term for various schools of ideas. Austrian, Chicago, Keynesianism. It's a huge jungle of many diverse ideas. Some incorporate ideas from each other, while others reject each other's ideas. Hitler, though not describing himself as a capitalist, incorporated ideas of capitalism in his ideology. Nazism valued private property based on race, favoring the Aryan race. According to Against the Mainstream, Nazi privatization in the 1930s, Germany, quote, "to restrict as little as possible the creative activities of the individual. Private property is the natural precondition to the development of personality. Only private property is able to further the conscious attachment to a certain work." Nazism was a hodgepodge of ideas. It was in reality a backwards ideology that had no clear vision. On the other hand, contrary to the valuing of enterprise, Hitler introduced barriers to entry. Hitler's administration decreed in October 1937 policy that, quote, "dissolved all corporations with a capital under $40,000 and forbade the establishment of new ones with a capital less than $200,000, which swiftly affected the collapse of 1/5 of all small corporations." End quote. This is reminiscent of corporatism and its idea in regards to regulation. Again, Hitler had a lot of ideas going on in his methed out mind. It was not clear or concise. Now to the claims that Hitler was socialist. Hitler introduced many social programs to the Reich, but these programs were based on race, contrary to what a socialist would believe. Hitler believed the pure race of Germany would have more favor than anyone else. This is contradictory to the main tenets of socialism and its views on equality. Hitler believed, quote, "the Nazis were hostile to the idea of social welfare in principle, upholding instead the social Darwinist concept that the weak and feeble should perish. They condemned the welfare system of the Weimar Republic, as well as private charity, accusing them of supporting people regarded as racially inferior and weak, who should have been weeded out in the process of natural selection," end quote. This sounds like a win for the accusers, but no, Hitler also believed, quote, "nevertheless, faced with mass unemployment and poverty of the Great Depression, the Nazis found it necessary to set up charitable institutions to help racially pure Germans in order to maintain popular support, while arguing that this represented racial self-help and not indiscriminate charity or universal social welfare, end quote. Continued. The NSV distributed assistance on explicitly racial grounds. It provided support only to those who were, quote, racially sound, capable of and willing to work, politically reliable, and willing and able to reproduce, end quote. Non-Aryans were excluded, as well as the work-shy, asocials, and the hereditary ill, end quote. Hitler's ideas were bipolar. He felt one way one minute and an entirely different way the other. The Nazi Party also opened many nurseries and other institutions. In fact, quote, 17 million Germans were on assistance in 1939. Socialism would not favor racial segregation of social programs, but would agree to the welfare system. The thing is, Nazism was not socialist or capitalism. It was the third position. Now, some people will argue that the Nazi Party was socialist because of the name of the party, the National Socialist German Workers' Party. As we addressed before, the Nazi Party was not strictly socialist, so the argument that socialism is in the name is worthy of Down syndrome. Just because it's in the name does not mean it's socialist. For example, I can say the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is democratic, because it has the word democratic in the name. That's not how mafia works. I can come up with a party name like, I don't know, the Workers' Party for Nationalism and Big Titty MILFs. The name, like MIB International, reeks of pandering, and that's what Hitler did. He wanted as many people to join the party as possible. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, don't take something for face value. Read between the lines. And again, Nazism is not strictly socialist or capitalist. It's the third position, goddammit. It's no different than a centrist. It's just the central position. Anyways, guys, hope you liked the video. Please subscribe and consider donating to my Patreon or crypto wallet. All links will be in the description down below. Thank you guys, like the video, and remember, have a great weekend and don't eat Zyklon B, please.